Shocking. No Eala, no crowd. Toronto went completely silent after Alex Eala's exit. And before we go any further, if you love tennis, Alex, and the way she plays the game, comment below and show your support for our star. Wins and losses are part of tennis, but real fans stay with their player through both. So if you love Alex and her game, let us know in the comments, because what happened after she walked off that court says something much bigger about what Alex has become. On August 9th, 2026, Alex Eala's incredible run at the National Bank Open came to an end. She faced Swiss veteran Belinda Bencic in the round of 16, and this time, Alex simply could not find the answer. Bencic won 6-4, 6-0 in just 73 minutes. The second set was brutal. Alex had fought through 7 straight wins before arriving at this moment. She had built incredible momentum, attracted thousands of fans, and turned Toronto into a celebration of Filipino tennis. But suddenly it was over. The final point was played. Alex had lost, and as she began walking away from the court, the atmosphere felt completely different, because the fans knew they had just watched the end of something special. For several days, Toronto had not felt like an ordinary WTA tournament. It felt like Alex Eala's tournament. Thousands of Filipino fans had filled the stands carrying Philippine flags, wearing Alex Eala shirts, singing, cheering, and creating an atmosphere that even experienced tennis commentators described as extraordinary. The stadium had become what many fans called Little Manila, and Alex was at the center of it. That is what made her exit so emotional. The scoreboard said Alex had lost, but the story of Toronto was much bigger than one result. Just days earlier, fans had been rushing to buy tickets after learning when Alex would play. Her opening match demand was so strong that tournament organizers had to move her to the much larger center court. Then came the unbelievable part. Her Wednesday night session sold out in roughly 30 minutes. More than 10,000 seats disappeared almost instantly. According to tournament director Carl Hale, thousands of tickets were sold specifically after Alex's schedule was confirmed. People weren't simply buying tickets because the National Bank Open was happening. They want to see Alex Eala. And that is a remarkable thing for a 21-year-old who is still building her career. She wasn't the world number 1. She wasn't a Grand Slam champion. She wasn't even a top 5 player. But she was becoming one of the biggest attractions at the tournament. And the reason wasn't only tennis. It was identity. It was pride. It was connection. For Filipino fans living in Toronto and across Canada, Alex represented something they could call their own. Families came to watch her. Children came carrying Philippine flags. Some fans attended professional tennis for the first time simply because Alex was playing. The tournament even added Filipino adobo to its food offerings, something that had never happened there before. That tells you how much the Alex Eala phenomenon had grown. She wasn't just affecting what happened on the court. She was changing what was happening around it. The entire atmosphere of the tournament was being influenced by one young player from the Philippines. And then came the match against Bencic. The crowd desperately wanted Alex to continue. Every point mattered. Every comeback mattered. But Bencic stayed composed. She took control, closed out the first set 6-4, and then dominated the second. When the final point ended, Alex's 7-match winning streak was gone. Her Toronto run was over. And then came the moment fans will remember. Alex walked away from the court, the same court that had been shaking with noise only days earlier. The same stadium that had been covered in Philippine flags. The same place where thousands of people had screamed her name. Now the moment was ending. Fans began leaving. Flags were folded. The excitement slowly disappeared, and Toronto became quieter. That contrast was almost impossible to ignore. One moment, the stadium felt like a celebration. The next, Alex was walking away after a difficult defeat. But there is something important about what happened next. The fans did not suddenly stop caring about her. They didn't abandon her because she lost, because that is not what real support looks like. Real support is not only celebrating when your player wins. It is staying beside them when the scoreboard doesn't go their way. And that is exactly why Alex's Toronto story matters. She may have lost the match, but she had already won something much bigger. She had created a community around her. She had brought people together. And she had shown the tennis world what can happen when a player connects with an audience on an emotional level. Even Bincic acknowledged the atmosphere after the match. She recognized that most of the crowd had been cheering for Alex, while still saying it was a pleasure to play in front of them. Think about that. The opponent could feel Alex's influence. The tournament could feel it. The fans could feel it. And the numbers could feel it. That is the Eala effect. It is not simply about ticket sales. It is about bringing new people into tennis. It is about families discovering the sport. It is about Filipino communities seeing one of their own competing on a major international stage. And it is about a young player becoming a symbol far beyond the tennis court. Alex herself seemed to understand how powerful that connection was. After the tournament, she reflected on the support from Filipino fans and explained that she felt like only a small part of something much bigger. That humility makes the story even more meaningful, because Alex knows the crowd is not just watching her. They're walking with her. They are celebrating with her. They are hurting with her. And when she loses, they don't suddenly disappear. They wait for the next tournament, the next match, the next opportunity. That is why Alex leaving Toronto does not mean Elamania is finished. It simply means this chapter is finished. The next chapter is waiting. And after everything that happened in Toronto, the expectations will be even bigger. Other tournaments will notice what happened. Tournament directors will notice the ticket demand. Broadcasters will notice the audience. Fans will notice. And most importantly, Alex will know that wherever she goes, there are people waiting to support her. That is an incredible position for a 21-year-old to be in. But let's be honest, the loss to Bincic hurts. Losing 6-0 in the second set is never easy. Alex worked hard to get to that stage, and every athlete wants to keep winning when the crowd is behind them. But one difficult match does not erase everything that came before it. It doesn't erase her 7-match winning streak. It doesn't erase the sold-out sessions. It doesn't erase the thousands of fans who came to see her. It doesn't erase the Philippine flags. It doesn't erase the children who were inspired by her. And it certainly doesn't erase the history she is creating. Sometimes the most important part of a sports story is not how it ends. It is what the athlete makes people feel along the way. And Alex made Toronto feel something. She made people excited. She made people proud. She made people care about a tennis match in a way that went far beyond the score. That is why her departure felt so emotional. Toronto didn't just lose a player. It lost the heartbeat of a very special few days. But the heartbeat hasn't disappeared forever. It is moving to the next tournament. And Alex will carry that support with her. So yes, Alex Eala lost. But if you only look at the scoreboard, you miss the real story. The real story is that a young Filipino player walked into Toronto and created an atmosphere that even some of the biggest names in tennis would struggle to produce. She filled seats. She brought new fans. She brought culture into the stadium. She gave Filipino communities a reason to celebrate together. And she reminded the tennis world that sometimes a player's biggest impact cannot be measured by trophies alone. So as Alex walked away from that court on August 9th, she wasn't walking away from her fans. She was walking toward the next chapter. And if Toronto proved anything, it is this. Wherever Alex Eala goes next, the fans are going with her. The loss is one night. The journey is much longer. And for Alex Eala, this journey is only beginning.